I'd like to know how many people in this audience work in the media industry? Quite a lot. And how many of you are from the print media industry? Much fewer. Yeah, you see, if you're a print journalist, it's a lot harder to crack an invite to events like this these days. Things are bad in the print media world. Any bloggers? A couple more. Yeah, see, it's the bloggers that are stealing all the invitations from the print media people. And people like the one sitting over there are sort of rebels who are former print media journalists now turned bloggers. And I'll bet they're live blogging this right now, making things even worse for the print space. Please don't blog these words. So we all know that the print media industry is suffering. Things are bad. Things are going down. Or so they would seem. Not really. I like to think that the print space is entering something of, I'm going to call it a renaissance, a rebirth, a transformation. And today I'll show you how it's not just the print space that's doing this, it's actually very much the online space as well. Transformation comes from innovation. And innovation is birthed on the borders between different disciplines and cultures, at the intersection of different ideas. And no one knows this better than me, because my story comes from a day where this photo was taken at a conference 3 years ago where I met my business partner, Jaco de Wet, over there, and we couldn't be more different. Afrikaans, Indian English guy from Durban. He was into print. His family background was in publishing. He was an industrial engineer. I was a computer engineer, of course, being Indian. And I was into the web space and online social media. What else could I be in? And during that week, all we could talk about and think about was how to combine the best ideas from the print space with the online space to create an entirely new application that was better than anything that we'd seen before. It was a big idea. It was a stupid, crazy idea. But it's the stupid, crazy ideas that are the ones that are the hardest to let go of. So as I left that conference, I just couldn't shake it. It was like I was sick. Everyone around me thought there was something wrong with me. When I spoke to my parents and my friends about starting this new business in this new media landscape, converging the best parts of print and online, they thought I was crazy. They said, don't do it. It's crazy. So naturally, 6 months later, I dropped out of my master's degree and I did it. I started the business. And I'm happy to say that I'm still alive. And boy, what a journey it's been. We all know what the print industry and the online media industry is all about. It's about magazines, covering every interest known to mankind, from running to scrapbooking, to fashion, of course. It's about beautiful, high print, high quality ads. Newspapers, they're about the news on my doorstep every single day, what's happening in the world. And we've got online media as well, the bloggers over there killing the rest of that slide as usual, making things very, very hard for the print industry. So we know that print is down. Nothing's new to you so far. Print is down. At the world's largest print expo called IPEX, Canon did a survey of their top elite printer customers. And they reported that their revenues were down almost 20% in 2 years from lithographic printing. That's bad. Although the picture's not complete until we realize that those very same customers' revenue was up by 30% in digital printing. How can an industry be in decline and be growing at the same time? It doesn't make sense. That's because offset litho and digital print are two completely different things. Offset litho are those screen-based printing. It's how we produce magazines and newspapers in the tens of thousands. It's printing 25,000 of the same thing, targeting everyone and no one at the same time. Digital printing, on the other hand, is pretty simple. It comes out of the machine that sits on our desk or in the office. I can print a photo, I can print a document, I can print 1, I can print 10, I can do whatever I want. And the customers that had 30% revenue growth have these digital printers in their office. Now, their machine looks a little bit different to my machine, but it basically does the same thing. That was taken at the same expo, and that's a Xerox iGen 4, which is probably the most technologically advanced digital production press in the world. And what can it do? Well, it can print us one of something, or 10, at the same price. And that's a big deal to printers. And this machine is powering the future of print, of tomorrow's applications, of so-called print on demand. I'm sure you've heard that phrase before. Give me one and give it to me now. If machines like this exist, and they do widely, HP, Kodak, Canon, they all have competitors to Xerox's iGen machine, as you see there. Costs about $1 million a pop. If they're all over the world and they've got this massive capacity, why don't I receive more letters with my name on it? More personalized products targeted to me and only me. And the reason for that is that, as with all things in technology, the hardware is preceding the software. The hardware is way ahead, and the software applications still have to catch up. So moving back to that conversation I was having with Jaco at that conference 3 years ago, how do we combine the best innovations in online with the latest technology in print to create new kinds of applications? Where do we get the data set? Where do we find a database with enough personal information on everyone in the world that we can start personalizing products for them? And our answer is what we do every day when we log onto our computers in the morning. It's Facebook. Because there's 500 million people out there who have shared their age, gender, location, interests, friends, birthdays, events, photos, and everything else. And it's there, it's widely accessible, and it's open to the public, if that person gives permission to an application to get it. This photo was taken at Facebook F8, which is the annual Facebook Developer Conference, and it's a big deal in Silicon Valley. All they could talk about was the opportunity of Facebook to drive personalization. And they were thinking about doing this all over the internet. But there were a bunch of crazy entrepreneurs out there who are thinking about doing this in print. So we see this trend developing of the online space driving and influencing the print space in all sorts of ways and all sorts of new applications which no one's ever thought of before. And as I started a company in the space and started learning about the space, I realized there's actually a lot of crazy people out there who believed in the same kind of hypothesis. And there's a lot of stuff going on. And it's going to change the world. Like this. Send a personalized family newsletter out of Facebook to grandma. Okay. I understand that it's not exactly world-changing, and often the first applications to come out of a new technology are not the killer ones. But it's pretty interesting. Getting a little bit more serious, you can get personalized calendars, which is the first step from my company, Personera, one of our products, with people's friends' birthdays, events, and photos in them. Or Hot Prints in the UK has created a photo album product created with a click out of Facebook that anyone in the world can order for free because it targets the advertising in the product to that individual, and it costs nothing. New, based in Germany, are a startup that have managed to personalize newspapers. And now someone can sign up to new.com and new.de in Germany and set up what their interests are, what kinds of articles they like, and every morning, fresh on their doorstep, is a targeted newspaper with their name on it and the stuff they're interested in. And New's getting really close to cracking that holy grail of personalized print media, which is the personalized printed magazine. At this point, you can be forgiven for thinking that the trend is only where online is influencing print, because it's not. In fact, there's a lot happening the other way around as well. Print and online have lived apart for a very, very long time. And now they're starting to converge and share and talk to each other. So if we look at another crazy entrepreneur, I think they're from Europe, called Paperly, I can go to paper.li and create a personalized Twitter newspaper that curates the links shared from all my Twitter friends around the world, and suddenly it's the stuff that I care about in a format that reminds me a lot of newspapers, if you ask me, or a magazine. There's brand advertising in it, and it's fun to read, and it's a lot better than that ugly list that I have to look at every time I log into Twitter. Who's heard of Flipboard? Show of hands. Many. Good. This is TED for a reason. And Flipboard, as it says, is your personalized social magazine. It's kind of ironic that these crazy guys have cracked the personalized magazine code for a digital device, the iPad, the computing tablet, before the print magazine people figured it out. I think that's kind of cool. And what you can do with Flipboard is pretty amazing. An example of what a Flipboard screenshot looks like is right there, where that's my Twitter Flipboard. It's my personalized Twitter stream, content shared by my friends. It's all about me. I like to read it and flip through it. But what does that remind you of? It looks kind of like Paperly to me, which looks kind of like a printed newspaper, because they're borrowing the same design principles.
This is my iPad, and this is my Flipboard. Your Flipboard is your personal magazine. It always has content you care about, and it knows what you care about because it knows who your friends are. This is all stuff my Twitter friends are linking to, articles and images they think I should see. Your Flipboard connects to your social networks and gathers all the good stuff your friends are sharing. Any type of content your friends can share, articles, images, photo albums, and video, they all come to you. And you can always handpick from Flipboard's own collections, from some of the most interesting sources on the web. I know I can always find something good in Flip Tech, for instance. And your Flipboard updates when your friends do, so you're never at a loss for something to look at. And because your Flipboard is already connected to your social networks, you can share and reply from right there within the app. While your friends do the work of sharing the good stuff, your Flipboard collects it all in one incredible place. So you'll always have more good stuff waiting next time you open it. It's your magazine. It's your Flipboard. The stuff you care about, all in one place.
And that last sentence is the critical sentence. The stuff you care about, all in one place. That's the future. And it's here today. We live in a busy world where we're engulfed by communications and mass media. And it's stressing us out. How many of you cringe at the thought of opening your Twitter account or RSS reader or favorite news site? I know you do. Because there's just hundreds of things there that are screaming for attention, and it's in a format that's ugly and hard to digest. It affects me. And I was a software engineer. I'm supposed to be a geek, born to handle information overload, and I can't. And it irritates me that that term has become so prevalent in our society today. There's a new medical term called information fatigue syndrome, and I think that's wrong. It's because the world is noisy, and the information age has become the information overload age. I see a couple nods. You know what I mean. I think the solution to the information overload age is the personalization age, where the best parts of online media and print media are combined to give me an entirely new experience in new formats and new applications driven by those crazy entrepreneurs out there that puts the stuff I care about in one place. The future of media is me. It's me and you and our friends and our interests and all the stuff we care about. The rest is just noise. Thank you.